Alright, first off guys, sorry about the last video. It's kind of last minute. Got that big bull red hooked on, and it was a big cluster. Sorry about that. It was a little bit vulgar. Again, I apologize, but and then it wasn't filmed the way I wanted it to. We weren't really planning on filming that night because we really didn't think we were going to catch anything. We were just going out there to kind of see if the bull reds had started running, because normally about this time of year they'll start to run up, inshore. All the big bull reds are running in from offshore, kind of chasing those mullet, chasing those ladyfish in. This video is to give y'all some tips on big game inshore fishing. So this is going to apply to sharks, this is going to apply to redfish, this is going to apply to tarpon, everything. I've lost so many fish just from these instances where I just wasn't thinking. So I'm going to kind of go over those. First off, I go overkill with my reel. I like running if I'm going to use a spinning reel, which I recommend for inshore fishing. I use a lot of bait casters too, but that's for lighter tackles. So that's for, obviously lighter tackle. That's going to be for speckled trout, white trout, smaller redfish, slot reds, anything along those lines. But when you're shark fishing, you do kind of want something along that line, like an avet or a big pin. Pin's a good entry level reel, so I don't endorse them. I don't have any sponsors, so I'm giving you personal information about items I've used and that I like. So I use a Daiwa 4000 series reel. They're inexpensive, they work great, they have plenty of drag, they fit a ton of lines. So this is my biggest mistake that I see so many people do. I've done it, I'm guilty of it. Torquing down on the drag too far. You get scared when you see all that line running. You hook into a big bull red, a big tarpon, anything like that, they take some line. They're gonna take line. You want the drag to be tight, but not too tight. So you're gonna want them to take line and wear themselves out. At the same time, you don't want to have the drag stupid loose and them just to take line and not get tired. So what you really want is a tight drag where you can still kind of, pull back on them and get them turned. So what I like to do is I run about 300 yards of line on my Daiwa spinning reel that I use for, redfish and things along that nature, tarpon, redfish, anything like that, because I want them to take line. I want them to get out there, and you're gonna have to bring back line. That's not a big deal. So you're gonna gain line on them whenever they get tired. They're gonna get tired of running. Now, that's the first mistake I see. People torque down on that drag, they'll break their rod or they'll break their line. A lot of times you'll just break your line. It sucks, it happens. Then you got a redfish or a tarpon running around with a 2-foot leader hanging out of their mouth. So never good. I know there's a lot of sportsmen that follow me, a lot of people that eat the fish they catch. I'm one of those. I'm guilty of that. I do release, depending on what it is. Speckled trout I normally release unless I catch a nice, one that's not too big, still in the slot, maybe 18, 20 inches. Anything bigger than that I normally don't keep. So that's the number one. Now, bait casters. Whenever I use a bait caster for inshore fishing, I like running a heavier braid, 55, 65 pound braid. You're not going to fit a whole lot of line, so you are going to have to tighten down on the drag a little bit harder to what your rod can handle and what your reel can handle. You also don't want to burn up those drag discs in a bait caster. So if you're using a bait caster for, slot reds, anything like that, what I say about slot red, anything under 27 inches, you don't want to burn those drag discs up in your reel. So that's why I like using a heavier reel, and you can let them take a little bit more line, let them scream that drag out, Now with like an avet reel or a pin reel, anything along those lines, I like fucking that. Alright, sorry, vulgar. I like running probably 80-pound braid. I'll do about 300 yards on my pin. I've got a big pin 12-aught. I'll run about 300 to 400 yards of 80 to 100-pound braid, and then do a top shot of mono where you run a uni knot and do a double uni. Everybody knows how to do it. If you don't, I'm going to post a video on how to do a double uni knot. Extremely easy, awesome knot. It holds everything. And then I'm going to show you all some knots for braid. So run a double uni, do about 200 more yards of like 65 to 80 pound monofilament. That's your top shot. Now with catching sharks, their skin is like sandpaper. If you just run braid to a leader, they're gonna cut that braid with their tail. So they're gonna whip around and cut that braid. So what you do, you run, 2 to 3 feet, depending on how big a shark you want to catch. If you want to catch 10-foot sharks, you're gonna run a 10-foot, 200-pound mono leader, and then a 2-foot shark leader. So steel braid, anything like that. So that's kind of some of the biggest mistakes I've seen in inshore heavier fishing is people torquing down on their drag too far. Again, they get scared when they see all that line running out, when in reality you have plenty of line. 300 yards is a long way. That is a ridiculous amount of line for them to pull. So follow my channel, like, comment, subscribe. I'll be coming back with more videos. This Memorial Day, I'll be doing some kayak fishing in Grand Isle, Louisiana. Going back out there, we'll do some night fishing, we'll do some day fishing, we'll do some inshore fishing, for a little bit of everything. A couple weeks from now, I'm gonna be posting some videos from doing some little bit heavier fishing from the kayak. We'll go hit up some rigs. We'll catch some bonita. We'll catch some sharks. We're gonna catch a little bit of everything. So follow my channel, subscribe, comment, like, get back at you.